Today we bring you a recap of a 2020 horror and thriller movie titled The Super Deep. Spoilers ahead. The movie begins as Anna Fedorova loses one of her research associates in 1984 as the testing of a vaccine goes wrong. Feeling guilty, she wants to stop the project, but Colonel Yuri Morozov stops her. The results of the project are needed by the people in Africa, and if she stops now, the death of her friend would be for nothing. Months later, we see her spending New Year's Eve with friends and family who congratulate her for making a vaccine so fast. Her eve is disturbed by a call from Morozov, who needs her on a special mission. Some noises have been heard in the Kola Super Deep borehole. Some people have disappeared as well, and now the station will be shut down in 24 hours. The head of the project has been hiding data about some unknown disease, and that is why they need Anna. Anna accepts the offer after he gives a good deal and leaves. She arrives at the situation in the morning with Morozov and a group of soldiers led by Major Sergei Mikheev and his right hand Egorov. They find themselves in trouble as soon as they reach, as a scientist escapee throws a hand grenade in their helicopter. Their ears buzz for a few seconds, but they all find themselves to be fine. Anna goes to the scientist's body and tries to take a sample for testing. Meanwhile, Mikheev teases her and tries to guess where she is from based on her accent. The sample turns to dust as soon as she closes the test tube. She cannot seem to be able to take her eyes off the weird red glow from the scientist's body. One of the soldiers explained that the scientist went crazy as soon as he reached the surface, and his strength was so incredible that not even 3 of the soldiers could stop him. Anna takes samples from the rest of the staff before they leave. One of the men tells her that the disease down there is a lie, and she should run back to her family. All the workers seemed fine, but one with a scar was scared by something he saw. Anna thought that this might be something more than a disease. Afterward, all of them enter the station with the head scientists, Pyotr Kuznetsov and Dmitry Grigoriev. Anna tries to ask a few questions about the disease from Dmitry, but he refuses to answer us as he thinks everyone there has an ulterior motive. He will only help them enough so that they get a sample and evacuate safely. They get in the elevator, and Dmitry enters the passcode 3 times as he gets it wrong the first 2 times. Luckily, he gets it right during the 3rd attempt, and they begin the descent into the deepest man-made hole in the world. When they reach the floor, the elevator brakes fail, and they do not stop. Dmitry puts on an oxygen mask while the rest of them pass out. When they come to B, they find out that Dmitry has left the elevator key, and they are at the research facility. They see a map showing the main research level is even below, and they need another elevator to get there, but they do not have the key to that elevator as well. They find only 2 of the staff members that crowded this place once, Nikolay and Kira Vitalievna. These 2 were left behind during the initial evacuation. Kira takes them to the lab so Anna can take samples from both of them and look at the samples in the microscope. She confirms that neither of them is infected. It seems that it was Dmitry's plan to leave them in a place clean from the disease. Now they need to look elsewhere. Dmitry out of nowhere reveals himself to Anna to ask her to take the team back to the surface. She calls the soldiers to capture him, but he leaves using the elevator before they can do so. They decide to send a team led by Egorov to get him. They have to force open the door as it had been sealed from the inside by Dmitry. While they put on suits to tolerate the high temperatures, the doors open on their own. Olga Kryilova comes out looking rather sick due to the heat. The soldiers rescue her. Anna asks her a few questions, but she remembers nothing. She says she is cold, but she is burning with fever. When she looks at her back, she finds mold-like growths which, according to Olga, do not hurt, even when Anna cuts them to take a sample. Soldiers report the sign of life at lower levels. Anna puts the sample under the microscope and finds out that it is a very highly virulent parasitic mold. This is a totally unknown species, so that should be enough for Morozov to return now. Nikolay started working on the elevator system to make it come back down, which will take an hour or so. Mikheev tries to contact his team again, but they seem to be in trouble at the sight of something dangerous and do not answer on their walkie-talkies. Dmitry contacts them through speaker, telling them they had hoped that they would leave using the shaft, but now they have left him with no choice. He seals them in the facility using a bomb as he asks for their forgiveness. Anna seems to be reminded of her own guilt related to the vaccine when the area starts shaking due to the explosion. In the lab, Olga's body starts to glow and she loses control as she attacks Kira. Meanwhile, Nikolai tells everyone in the facility will collapse in an hour. Milkeef punches him, as he shows that he wants to get out no matter what happens to everyone else. Meanwhile, Morozov agrees to leave through the shafts. Milkeef goes back to the lab with Anna to find Olga. They are surprised to see mold everywhere, and they notice that Olga has half melted into the mold on the floor but is still alive. She is ordered to take a sample by Morozov, and when she gets close enough to take a sample, Olga releases spores into the air. She runs back and puts on a mask to avoid breathing in them. She sees Kira, who dies just then due to being contaminated. Anna tries to leave and comes across a fire extinguisher thanks to a hallucination. She uses it to clear the air around her so she can escape without letting the mold out. Afterward, she asks Nikolai to disinfect her as well. Anna goes to check on surgery, but he has lost his sight and is infected. When she tells about Kira, Pyotr explains that this mold is like an ant parasite. She asks Morozov to talk to her in private and tells him about her discovery of the mold's weakness to cold temperatures. She wants to stay and find the rest of the survivors while Morozov goes and gets a rescue team. But this is not possible as the facility will be shut down in 5 hours. They put on the suits to leave but then get a message from Aragorov telling them not to open the doors even for them. They open the door anyway as it is their only chance at surviving this. 3 soldiers go into the shafts but all 3 die soon, and whatever killed them now knows that there are more people, so it tries to get them. The group runs away to the back of the area where they see the elevator arriving. Nikolai tries to get to work, and Milkeef, who sees the body is now shining, stays there with his men to stop whatever is coming to chase them. Anna, Nikolai, Morozov, and Pyotr get in the elevator and hold on tight as it starts to fall. The pressure makes it hard for Nikolai to reach the brake lever, so Anna has to do it herself. Luckily, she does so just in time, and they stop at the lowest level, which is colder than they expected. All the rooms are cold, and a recording from a scientist reveals he also figured out its weakness and much more. They also find the bodies of many stuck with the walls. Morozov gets the last protective suit to enter the 200 degrees environment in an attempt to get the elevator key from Dmitri. Anna asks the others not to tell anyone about the mold, as it would cause more people to come down to investigate it, putting the human species at risk of extinction. Nikolai accepts, but Pyotr says that he wanted to make a big discovery that would make him famous. When Morozov does not return, Anna decides to enter the area without any protection, as in theory, human body can survive there for a few minutes. Anna finds Morozov dead as the suit has been sabotaged by Dmitri. After seeing the mold grow on the walls, she picks up the key from near him and runs back. Nikolai tries to help her, but Pyotr shoots him in the leg and demands the key so that he can earn the fame for the great discovery. They give him the key, and so he takes the second elevator with both of them at gunpoint. When they reach the resort level, they go to the first elevator corridor to investigate. Pyotr tries to keep Anna behind so she can get into the elevator alone, but sadly, he is attacked by a strange entity from the shaft. It is a very disturbing creature made up of the melted bodies of staff members. They are all alive and screaming as the creature kills Pyotr. Anna runs and hides, but the creature comes after her, so she grabs a knife and enters the freezer. There, she gets an idea and undresses. She starts putting cold water on her body so that it is too cold for the mold to infect her. She then comes out and crawls under the creature to reach the elevator key. She finds Nikolai after locking the doors behind her so they can escape together. The creature breaks the doors and tries to get them out, but the 2 of them are lucky enough to get into the elevator and close the doors before the creature gets to them. They start to move up, but they have one more problem. Milkeef is there with them, and he is releasing spores through his breath while begging them for help. Anna does not want the mold to get out, so she stops the elevator, but Nikolai wants to survive, so he activates it again. They begin to fight, and just as Anna is about to be killed, Milkeef uses his exposed bone to kill Nikolai first. Anna shows her gratitude by telling him that she is from Yugoslavia and kisses him. She starts to punch the buttons so that the 3 wrong attempts at the code will crash the elevator, which turns out to be hard, as she is also infected by then. She fails, and the rescue team rakes her away after the elevator makes it to the surface. She takes a grenade from them and tries to use it when she sees more scientists arriving, just like at the beginning of the story.